Hello students. So today's concept is strings. The main objective of this lecture is to understand what is a string and to understand how to declare and initialize a string, how we can use a string and some string manipulation functions using some of the examples. So first we'll see the definition of a string. So what is a string here or definition of a string? So string is a sequence of 0 or more characters terminated by a null character. A string, we can call it as a group of characters, or we can also call it as a character array. As you can see here, it is stored same like an array. So that's why we can call it as a character 1D array, as it is ending with a null character. Now what is this null character? So null character here is nothing but it is a value 0 and it is used as a delimiter for a string, by which we can indicate that this is the end of the string. So whenever we find a null character with the string, then that is the end of the string. Okay, so what is a string here? A string is a group of characters terminated with a null character. Okay, so it is compulsory here that we will have a string which is terminated by a null character. So to consider an example, you can just see in the example we are having a set of characters, that is C string, enclosed in a double quotation marks. So always string is enclosed in double quotation marks, and at the end it appends with a null character by default. So it is not compulsory here to mention null character also within the double quotation marks. It is quite understood that your compiler at the end it will paste null character here. So how the memory is allocated for this particular string here, you can just see in this diagram here. We are having a memory allocation shown in this diagram. Memory allocation shown in this diagram. So here you can see that we are having C and we are having one memory allocated for space also, and you are having followed by that string and ended with a null character. So what you will understand here, one separate memory location is also required for null character here. Okay, so as we all know that character as it is called as a character array, so character size is of 1 byte. So how many memory locations will be allocated here? So we are having how many characters? We are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we are having 8 characters considering in C string, including space also as a character here and also null as a character here. So here how many characters you are taking in a double quotes plus 1 will be allocated for null. So this is how we are going to define a string and how the memory is getting allocated for a string. So next we will see how we are declaring a string. So as we are calling it as a character array, so here the basic data type to declare a string is char. So that's why here the data type used here is char followed by the string name. So in our example the string name is yes and followed by the size of the string. Okay, so you can just see how the memory is allocated. So the memory is allocated in this manner. So here you are having 5 positions allocated each here, and you all know that char is of 1 byte of size. So each memory cell here is of 1 byte of size. So total how many memory space is allocated here? Total 5 bytes of memory is allocated here. Okay, so here you can just see that we are accessing or identifying the string elements also similar to the array elements, that is by using the array indices, that is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, if I say yes of 0 and then I am accessing the first character from the string. If I say yes of 1, then I am going to access the first character from the string, and so on. Okay, so this is declaration of a string. Next we will see how are we initializing strings, or how are we going to give values to the strings. So there are various ways to initialize strings, as we have mentioned here some 4 types. So we'll see those one by one here. So you can just see in the first type of initialization method. So here the string is given a name C, and you are not specifying any size for this string. Okay, so even this could be done here. You can mention the size of an array, or you can leave it as it is blank without mentioning any size of the array. Memory will be allocated automatically based on the value what you are going to assign to that particular string. Okay, so now you can see here in the first initialization method, you are having char C without specifying any size, and you are giving value here string as ABCD enclosed within the double quotation marks. Okay, now how the memory will be allocated to this? So for all these 4 methods, the memory will be allocated in a similar manner, which is shown at last. Okay, so you can just see here, as we have read the characters A, B, C and D, so they are stored in the same manner in memory. So in 0th location A will be stored, in first location B, in second location C, and in third location D. And as you all know that always a string is terminated by a null character, so extra space here is required for null character, which is stored at the 4th position, and it is you need not mention null character while initializing the string. Okay, so we'll see the next method. So in the next method, we have specified the size for character string C, that is 50, and assigning the same value ABCD to that particular string. Okay, so you can just assign the size of how much you want to. Okay, so here we are having an array of size 50, and we are assigning only 4 characters plus 1 for null character to the string. So you can just see the memory is allocated in the same way, but here only 5 memory locations are used and another 45 are not used here. So it is better approach to not specify any size. If you don't specify any size, how much you initialize, that many memory locations will be utilized by the computer. So this was the second method, and you can see in the third and fourth method we are assigning character by character to the string here. In the first method we don't have specified the size here. In the second method we have specified a particular size here. Okay, so we'll see the first method here. So here we are specifying character by character to the string C. So you can see here we have specified character A, character B, character C and character D. Okay, so now you can just see the difference here between the first 2 methods and the last 2 methods. In first 2 methods, as we are specifying the string in double quotation marks, so you need not end it with null character, but in the third and fourth method you are assigning individual characters to the array or string. So that's why here it is compulsory to mention the null character. Why? Because you need to say compiler where actually you have ended the string. Otherwise a compiler won't understand when you have stopped entering the characters here. Okay, so that's why in such method it is compulsory to mention the null character also here as one character. Okay, so you can just see in the third method you are mentioning A, B, C, D and null character, so the memory will be allocated in the same way. And in the fourth method also you have just mentioned here size as 5 and entered 5 characters. So the fifth character is for null character. Now suppose here you enter character E, okay, and say that memory will be allocated for it. No, memory will not be allocated. Why? Because in such case you need one more space to store null character. So that's why always remember students that in a string you always need one memory location reserved for null character. Why? Because it is a delimiter for that string, and using that you are going to analyze where the string is going to end. Otherwise you cannot know where the string is going to end. So this is about initializing strings. So next we will see read string at runtime. So here basically we are going to see the input output functions what we are using to read and print strings. So first we will see the formatted method, and then we will see the unformatted method. These already we have studied in module 2. So first we will see scanf to read a string, and we can also see in this example only printf to print a string. So you can just see the example. You can analyze what program what is the program written here. So in this program we have declared a string named here which is having a name as name and size 20. Okay, and then you are giving some printf statement to enter name. You're giving some command to enter the name, and you are reading the name using the scanf statement here. Okay, so in a scanf statement we are using format specifier, that is %s. So the conversion code for string is %s, and we are reading here string, so that's why we are using %s. And you are using the variable name, that is name, where you want to store the input what you have read. You can just observe one difference here. With integer and with floating point value we use address operator in a scanf statement, but we do not use address operator with %s conversion code. It is not necessary here. So that's why we have just written name inside the scanf here. You just note this point. Okay, so next you are having one printf statement to print what will be the output. So here the output is in the form your name is %s, and what will be printed as output, name, whatever value you have given to the name, that will be printed as a output here. Okay, so we'll just try to analyze what this program is now. You can just see here first statement in output, which is shown in a red color. You can just see the first line. Okay, so here you have a command given here, enter name, and suppose you have entered the name Dennis Ritchie. Okay, and you have got the output here as your name is Dennis. Okay, you have not been printed here Ritchie here. Okay, now why Ritchie is not printed here? You have read the name complete here, that is Dennis Ritchie, and name printed is only Dennis here. Why it is printed half of the string here? Why not full? Okay, so that is the main usage of scanf here. So what is scanf statement, or how scanf is encountered with %s here? Okay, now whenever you use scanf statement to read any string, so it reads the set of characters from the keyboard until a space bar or new line character is encountered. Okay, so now what do you understand here? Now you have read the name as Dennis, then you have a space after that, and after that you have entered Ritchie. Okay, so here scanf will place null character at the whenever it encounters space bar or whenever it encounters the enter key from the keyboard. So that's why whatever you enter after the space or after the new line character, those characters will not be considered as a set of character array here. Okay, so that's why you can see here after Dennis we are having a space. So in this space what scanf does here, scanf places a null character, and it understands that after Dennis we are done with entering the string, and it places the null character, and whatever we are reading after the space, that is Ritchie, it is going to ignore it. So that's why you are getting the output as your name is Dennis. That's it. After space and after new line character, whatever you enter using scanf, everything will be ignored and null character will be placed at the end of the string. That is before the space whatever you have read. Okay, so that's why now whatever input you have read is not matching with the output what you have got here. So this concept is wrong here. So that's why with string we need not use scanf. Okay, but with printf it is fine. Okay, whatever you have read, whatever characters are stored in the memory, the same characters will be printed at the output side. Printf is not having any problem with the string, but using scanf you can read only one word. You cannot read multiple words which is using space or which is using a new line character. So that's why we need to think of some other method to read a string here. Okay, so this is formatted string where we are using some format specifiers, and scanf which is not suitable for multiple words or a complete sentence as a string. So we'll see one more method here. So here we are going to see how to read and print a line of text. Line of text in the sense it may be a sentence which is consisting of multiple words which may have some spaces and which may also have which may have some spaces here. Okay, so for that we are going to use here unformatted input output statements. I'm sorry students, I have done one mistake here. So here I have written fgets. It is not fgets, it is just gets. So ignore this f. I'm very sorry, I can't edit it now. Okay, it is just gets and puts. Okay, so we'll see one example and try to understand what is gets and puts. So gets here is a get string function and puts is a put string function. Gets is used to read the string and puts is used to print the string. So you can just see the same example we have considered here. We have read the name as a string name here with the size of 30. We are entering some name here, okay, that is by using gets. Okay, and we are going to print the name by using puts. Okay, so now what is gets? There must be some difference between scanf and gets. As you know, with scanf, whenever you press the space bar, null character will be placed at the end of the string. Okay, but here with gets, even space bar is considered as one string here. So when null character will be placed at the end of the string with the gets here, so whenever you encounter new line character, that is, it accepts only a line of text. It is not about paragraph. So here now whenever you press enter, you enter some text of words here and press enter. So whenever you press enter, then that enter key or new line character is considered as null character for gets. Okay, and puts is same as printf. Now whatever you have read, whatever will be there in the memory location, the same things will be printed on the output screen. Now you can see one example here. The name we have entered here is Tom Hanks. So here completely the output also is getting printed, that is Tom Hanks. Why? Because space is also considered as a character in gets, whereas in scanf space is considered as a null character. So after Tom Hanks, if you have pressed enter, then end of this Tom Hanks you are pressing a null character. So that's why you are getting the output also here properly. So that's why whenever we are making use of string, it is better to use gets function and puts function to read and print a line of text. Okay. So next we'll see some string handling functions, or we can also call it as string manipulation functions. These are already stored in a standard library, what we call it as string.h. So we are making use of the existing functions for some functionalities or some task what is to be done in our program. So always these string handling functions are defined in string.h header file. So it is compulsory that whenever we are using string handling functions, we have to use #include string.h as the header file. If you don't use this, then whatever program you are writing will have errors. So that's why we need to make use of string.h header file. Why? Because it is a standard library which is holding some string handling functions or string manipulation functions. So we'll see these one by one. What are string handling functions? Okay, so the first string handling function is here strlen. So what is this strlen? So this is called as C string length. So strlen function is called as string length function. So here this function calculates the length of the given string. Okay, now we'll consider one example and then see how it calculates the length of the given string. So as you can see here, one example program we have written here. Okay, so you can just see we are having two strings in this program. So one string which is named as A, whose size is 20, and we have read the string as program here, which is used by initialization using double quotes here. Here we are doing string initialization, and one more string we are having is B, and here we are initializing it by character. So both are same anyways. So A value is also program and B value is also program here. Okay, now you are calculating the length of string A, that is by using string length function. So the syntax for writing this is strlen, and in the bracket you are sending a parameter as one string. So it calculates the length of string A, and here it calculates the string length of B string. Okay, so you can just see the output here, or just count the number of characters what we have in A string and B string. As it is a program, so you are having how many? Program, program. So total we are having 7 characters in in string A, and same with B. You are having program here also, but including one more null character. Okay, so just we need to remember here that string length function does not count the null character here. So that's why null character is now not counted by the string length function. So even B string is having length 7 here. So that's why you are getting the output here. Length of string A is 7 and length of string B is 7. So how many characters you have in a string, those characters will be counted here and will be returned as a result. Now if you consider any other example, that is considering space, then space is also considered as one character here, and even we are counting that particular space here. Okay, now for example I'll show it here itself. You are having in a printf statement written as length of string B. Suppose we'll consider that this is also one string C. So in C we are storing length of string B. Okay, count how many characters we have. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, that is space, 8 9, and then 10, that is one more space, then 11 12 13 14 15 16, and 17, one more space, and then 18. So totally in length of string C will be 18 here. Okay, so that is how the length of the string is returned as a result here. Okay, and also remember that null character is never considered in counting the length of a string. It is just used as a delimiter for the string. So this is the first string manipulation function, that is string length. We'll see the next one now. The next one is string copy. It is strcpy function. This is called as string copy. This function copies the string to another character array. Okay, so we'll see the example and then try to understand what is string copy. You can just see the example program written here. You are having 3 strings declared in this program. So one is string 1, which is already initialized with the value awesome. You are having string 2, you are having string 3. Okay, and we are using here string copy function to copy string 1 to string 2. Okay, so always remember that the first string what you are writing in string copy function is the destination string, and the second string what you are writing in string copy function is a source string. Okay, so here source string, so string 1 value is awesome, will be copied into string 2, which is destination string. And next you have string copy function with destination string as string 3, and source here you have directly given some string value here which will be copied here. You are not using any other string. So what we'll understand here is you can either use string copy in this manner, where you can copy from one string to another string, or you can give a direct value and try to copy it in any string. So here this well word will be copied into string 3. So what do you understand here? So always the right hand side string is the source string and left hand side string is a destination string here. Okay, and next you are just trying to print those two strings. So string 1 is copied into string 2 and well is copied into string 3. So you are just printing by using put as string 2 and put as string 3. So output is in this way. So string 1 value was copied into string 2, which is awesome. So put as string 2 prints awesome, and in the second copy function you are copying well into string 3 and you are printing string 3. So the output is well. So the output for this is awesome well. So this is how string copy works. So it copies the string to another string. Okay, you can just see here we have used the word character array. No need to confuse here. Character array is nothing but again a string itself here. Okay, so this is the second string manipulation function, string copy. Next one we'll see here is string compare. So it is defined as strcmp. So string compare function compares two strings and returns 0 if both strings are identical. Okay, now here you are having two strings and you are comparing those strings here whether they are equal or they are not equal. Okay, you can just see we are having some return value for the string comparison function. So if return value is 0, okay, then if both strings are identical or equal, then the return value will be 0. If the return value is negative, then the comparison what you are doing between two strings. Now for example, I am comparing string 1 with string 2. So string 1 will be less than the second string. So that's why the value I am going to receive here is negative. If string 1 is greater than the second string, then I am going to receive positive string. But in these two cases, both strings are not equal here. The strings are equal only when the return value is 0. Now how I am going to tell that it is 0, negative or positive here? As you can see in the remark section of negative and positive, it is just mentioned that if the ASCII value of the first unmatched character is less than second. Now as you all know, I have already told you in the class that these characters or special characters are converted into ASCII value. Okay, and those ASCII value are compared here. Compared in the sense the difference of those ASCII values are taken here, and if you get the result in zeros, then string are matching. If you get the result in minus, then it is not matching, or if you get the result in plus, also it is not matching. Okay, just we need to understand if the strings are matching, then you will get the result as 0. If they are not matching, either you will get it in a positive form or in a negative form. We'll consider one example here. Okay, so you can just see here in string compare example, we have defined various strings here, that is string 1, string 2 and string 3. Okay, string 1 is also having the same set of string 1 is having value ABCD, string 2 is also having ABCD, just C is in capital letter, and string 3 is also having ABCD here. Okay, we have defined one more string for calculating the result. Why result? Because to see how you are going to get the result in integer form. Okay, so the first comparison statement you can see here, result is equal to, you are comparing string 1 with string 2. Okay, now what is string 1 here? String 1 is ABCD and string 2 is ABCD, but C is of capital letter. So here ABD here and ABD here will consider the same ASCII values. Okay, only the different ASCII values is done is with small c and capital C. So when you take difference of this, that is string 1 minus string 2 with the ASCII value, then you will get some value here, some result here. Now what is that value you have got here is, you have got the value as 32, that is a positive value. But whatever it is, string 1 and string 2, whenever you see those, whenever you compare those, they are not matching here. So that's why you have got the result in positive form, or you may get it in negative form. Now for example, I'll just write string 2 on the left side and string 1 on the right side. So here string 2 minus string 1 will be done, and you will get some negative value here as a result. Okay, so in the both the case, the strings are not matching here. Okay, and in the second case, you are matching or you are comparing the two strings, that is string 1 and string 3. You can just see string 1 is ABCD and string 3 is also ABCD. Now ABCD ASCII values and ABCD ASCII values all are same here. So whenever you take a difference of these, obviously the result will be 0. So that's why the strings whatever we have in the second statement are matching here. Okay, this is how we are going to compare the two strings and telling or giving the output as whether they are matching with each other or whether they are not matching with each other. So this is about string comparison. And we are having one more, or the last one, that is string strcat, or it is also called as string concatenation. Okay, so the function string concatenation concatenates two strings here. Concatenate in the sense join. So you are joining two strings together here. Okay, now for example, here we will take, so here there are two strings defined in the program. String 1, which is having a set of characters or string as this is, and string 2 is having value program. So in this statement, you are concatenating two strings, that is string 1 and string 2. Okay, so first one written here is str1 string 1 and second string written here is string 2. So how the joining operation does here? So first you will have first string, after that you are going to join the second string to first string here. Okay, then you are going to print, and finally the result will be stored in string 1. Okay, string 1 is joined with string 2 and finally the result will be stored in string 1. Okay, so we'll see by printing what is string 1 and what is string 2 here. Okay, as by concatenating, okay, string 1 value was this is, by concatenating we also joined program to this is, program with this is, and final answer, that is this is program, was stored in string 1. So that's why the output of this program is, now first string 1 value is this is program, and string 2 value it is remains unchanged, so that's why it is just program. Okay, now just for example, if I just interchange these two values, string 2 I will write this side, string 1 I will write this side. Okay, now what will be the output here? Now whatever joining operation is done will be stored in string 2. Why? Because it is on the left side here, okay, but the output will be in form program this is, and string 1 will be just this is, okay. So this is string concatenation or joining of two strings. So here basically how many string manipulation functions we studied? We studied 4 string manipulation functions, which are string length, with string copy, string comparison, and string concatenation. Okay, so these 4 functions are used for manipulating strings, and also these have to be used inside string.h header file. This is already defined in C library, which is already stored in string.h header file. So whenever we are making use of these 4 functions, it is compulsory to use string.h as the header file. Even getS function and putS function are stored in this header file, and in stdio.h header file. So it is compulsory here in such programs to use stdio.h also and string.h also, okay. So by this now we can see some additional string handling functions which we have in string.h header file, okay. So you can see the first function here, strupr. So this is called as string upper. So whatever alphabets you have in a string, all the alphabets are converted into uppercase letters here. You can just see the example, string upper. You are having one string used as Delhi here, so only D is capital here, other than D all are in lowercase. So here the result will be printed in this form, where all the characters will be printed in uppercase letters. Next you are having here is strlwr. So strlwr stands for string lower. So here the string lower is used to convert all the alphabets in a string to lowercase letters. So you can just see the example. We are having string lower, all uppercase letters CT will be converted into lowercase letters CT. Next we are having here is strrev. So this is used to reverse a given string. Now whatever string has been given, those characters are printed in a reversed manner. You can just see the example, strrev we are using with the name Sachin, and the result is printed in reverse order. So n we are having in the last in the example, but in the result we are having it in the first, and yes we are having first in the first place in example, but here we are having s at the last place. So exactly whatever string has been given, that will be reversed and printed in string reverse case. And next you are having here is strncmp. Okay, it is similar to string compare function, okay. So this compares the first n characters of two strings. So in string compare function you are comparing all the characters what you have in two strings, but here you are specifying some size with n. Now if I say with an example, you can see you are having an example here as m is equal to strncmp Delhi, comma Didar, comma 2. Okay, 2 means what? So here only first two characters are compared with each other, that is D first character from first string, D first character from second string will be compared with each other, they are same. Next E and I will be compared with each other, both are not same, you have to get some negative or positive value here. So you have got here -4 as the result. So only two characters are compared here. If I specify 3 here, then DEL and DID is compared with each other. Okay. Next we are having here is strcmpI. So again this is string comparison function only. So here it is used to compare two strings with case insensitive. So you are neglecting whether the case is in uppercase or it is in lowercase letter. So you can just see here we are having the same two strings given here. One is in uppercase, one is in lowercase. So we are having Delhi to be compared with Delhi. But here, if you don't use I here, this Delhi and this Delhi is different here. You will not get that strings are matching here. But when you use I, it will ignore whatever may be the case here. So this is case insensitive. So that's why you have got the value as m equal to 0, where both the strings are equal here. And last one we have here is strncat. So this is again string concatenation. Okay, so it is used to join specific number of letters to another string. So you can just join only n number, whatever n you have specified here, only those number of strings will be joined to the other string here. You can just consider one example. We are having char s1 as new and s2 as Delhi. We want to join these two. You can just see we are having strncat s1 s2 comma 3. Okay, so you are going to join s2 string Delhi with s1 string new, and from Delhi you are taking only 3 characters here. Okay, so here the result s1 will be new Del, that's it. hi will be ignored here. Why? Because only 3 characters you are copying into the string s1, concatenating into string s1 here. So these are some of the additional string handling functions which can be used with string.h header file. So this is about strings, students. So I hope you have all understood the concept strings. Thank you.